Hi everybody, welcome back to another video. As you know by the title, in this video we are going to find the sum of the series that is shown on your screen. So right now I'll write the code and also I'll draw the flowchart for the same series in C language. So let's start without wasting any time. Let's start by writing the code. I'm simply writing the header file that we use in C program here, that is include stdio.h. Then I will start writing the main function int main. This is the block of the main function where the main function will come. Then I'll declare certain variables n, because we have to take the n from the user, and also we have to find, as you know, we are finding the sum of the series. So for that we'll have to take a variable sum and we have to assign it initially 0. And we'll implement this logic by using for loop. So also I need to declare a variable I for the for loop. Now as I told you, we have to take n from the user. So what we do, we write printf enter a number. Okay, we give this command and then we scan that value the user is entered like this. So that value will store in the variable n. Now we have to use a for loop. I'm using I is equals to 1. This is initialization. I told you in the video where I've discussed for loop in details for C language, I've told you we use initialization, condition and updation. For those of you whose basics are not clear for loop, they can go ahead and watch that video. I'll link it in the description. Also you can watch other videos related to C programming in the playlist that's in the channel. So I is equals to 1, then the condition is I less than equals to n, right? Because we will use the variable n also, that the user will enter. We have to use that n also. So we will implement the loop till n. So that's why I've used less than equals to n. Okay, equals to n is mandatory. Then the updation part, we are increasing the the value of I by value 1. Okay, so that's why I've used I plus plus. I plus plus denotes I is equals to I plus 1. In the dry run you will understand it more clearly, so I'll tell you when you will see the dry run. That time you will understand the logic more clearly. Then we just have to find sum is equals to sum plus, what is sum? Initially we have taken 0, and what we have to find, sum of I into I, the square of two numbers. What we are doing the square. So I, when I is 1, sum is 0. So 0 plus 1 into 1, that is 1 plus, we'll see all this in dry run. Then we'll close the loop, and then after we come out of the loop we will just use printf percentile d sum, return zero. We'll close the loop. This is the block for loop. This is the main function. Now for those of you who didn't understood the logic by looking at the code, I will show you the dry run. So let's see how this code run. Initially we have assigned sum is equals to 0, so the value of sum initially is 0, right? This is the dry run. So now we've input a number. Suppose I'm inputting n is equals to 5. Okay, I'm the user and I'll input. As soon as I'll get this command in my computer screen, I will input the number n. So n will have value 5. Now loop, what is the loop now? I is equals to 1, I less than equals to value of n is 5, I plus plus. This is what the loop is, right? So initially we have value I is equals to 1. Now we'll check the condition if 1 is less than equals to 5. This condition is true. So we will get inside the loop, then we'll find sum is equals to, which is initially 0. So sum is equals to 0, sum 0 plus I into I is 1. So 1 into 1, so value of sum is equals to 1. Now the value of sum is not 0 anymore, it is 1. Again the updation part, I is equals to I plus 1. This means that I is equals to I plus 1. So I is equals to 1 plus 1, that is 2. So now I is 2, it is not 1. So 2 less than equals to 5, condition true. So sum will be sum plus 2 into 2, that is sum is equals to 1 plus 2 2s are 4, that is 5. Now the value of sum is not 1, it is 5. Then again updation, I will be 3. So I is now 3. So 3 less than equals to 5. Condition true, obviously. So sum is now 5 plus sum plus I into I again. So I is 3 into 3. So 5 plus 3 3s are 9. 9 plus 5 is 14. So sum, the value of sum is now 14. Now again updation, I will be 4. This updation. Again we will check if the value of I is 4. 4 less than equals to 5. Condition is true. So now again sum is equals to 14. I is 4. 14 plus I into I, that is 4 into 4. 4 4s are 16. 16 plus 14, I think it's 30. 16 plus 14 is 30. Yes, 30. So the value of sum is now 30. Again updation, I is equals to 5. It was initially 4. After updation it is 5. So now the value of I here is 5. 5 less than equals to 5. Condition true. It is not less than, but it is equals to 5. So 5 less than equals to 5. So the condition is true. We'll get inside the loop. So sum is equals to 30 plus 5 into 5. So 5 5s are 25. So 5 plus 5, 55. Sum is 55, right? Then again after updation, I is equals to 6. So now the value of I is 6. The condition will be I less than, that is 6 less than equals to 5. This is the condition, which is false. 6 is not less than or equals to 5. That's why this condition now is false. It will come out of the loop and it will print the sum. The last value, the final value of sum was 55. So for the value of n is equals to 5, for this series we have sum is equals to 55. I hope you understood it in a better way in the dry run. Now let's discuss the flowchart for the same code. It is going to be very easy. I've already discussed the basics and one flowchart using while loop in my channel. So if you haven't watched that video, go ahead and watch. You can get the introduction to flowcharts. It is very easy. Flowcharts are not difficult. Some people find it difficult, very difficult to do flowcharts, but it is very easy, very simple. So now let's draw the flowchart. So let's first write start. Then we have used sum. We have to assign sum is equals to 0. Then we are inputting input, and we use a parallelogram for input and output in flowcharts. Then we are writing a for loop, and in the first video where I have done the introduction to flowcharts, there I've told you that we use this box for loop. So for I is equals to 0 to I less than equals to n, step 1. This is how we write a flowchart for loop in C. We write for loop in C. This was the loop that we've used in the code. I is equals to 0, I less than equals to n, I plus plus. So how we write for I is equals to 0 to I less than equals to n, step 1, because I is incremented by 1, so that's why step 1. And if it is incremented by 2, if it were incremented by 2, we have to write step 2, but here in this code it is step 1. Then what we did inside the for block, we found the sum. So sum is equals to sum plus I into I. This is what we did inside the for block. Then for loop, we use this and we connect this to the connector. This is the connector and we connect it to the connector. This is how the loop works, right? We check the check the condition, we get inside the block, then we again check the condition. So this is how the for loop works. That's why we used a connector, and it is very important to connect it like this, otherwise the flowchart will be wrong. If you're using for loop, we have to use a connector in the flowchart. Then after coming out of the loop, after the condition is false, we will print the sum and then stop. So this is the flowchart. Start, we have to assign the value sum is equals to 0. Then input, we have to input n. Then the for loop. Then we've calculated the sum. For any operation or for assignment, we use a rectangle. You can watch the introduction video to get a more clear idea what all boxes we use in flowcharts. For start and stop, we use this kind of box. For loop, we use this box. For input output, we use a parallelogram. So this is how we draw a flowchart for this code. This is the code and this is the flowchart.